What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday evening so far. This is NYG Jeffy T 85 here, and I'm bringing you some breaking news surrounding the New York Football Giants as they have officially waived Tae Crowder, linebacker Tae Crowder, their former Mr. Irrelevant back in 2020, who was picked at pick number 255 in the 7th round of the 2020 NFL Draft, as he officially ends his New York Giants career with 41 total games played and 31 starts since he was drafted with the 255th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft in the 7th round out of Georgia, where he played in 31 starts, and he had 8 games this season where he totaled 43 tackles and 24 solo with 1 sack and 3 tackles for loss with 2 quarterback hits and 1 forced fumble in that time being. And he also played in 2 special teams. He also played on special teams with 2 special teams tackles. This has a lot to do with the fact that the New York Giants, they just couldn't deal with Tae Crowder on the roster anymore. They figured they could upgrade him, and because of the fact that he tweeted a couple of weeks ago saying "free me" on his Twitter profile after he was pretty much a non-factor and he was deemed a healthy scratch on the Giants this past game against the Washington Commanders. So I'm not really shocked at all. Giants ended up playing Landon Collins, whom they signed to the active roster, and I believe they will officially add him to the active roster after we played a solid game last week against the Washington Commanders on this past Monday Night Football. So the Giants have officially waived linebacker Tae Crowder off the roster after he was inactive, a healthy scratch this past this past Sunday night against the Washington Commanders. Also, just to go over quickly, if the Giants were going to have an injury report today, there was no Giants practice today, but this is the practice report that would have happened if the Giants were practicing today. Obviously, the news that came out earlier is that Xavier McKinney will not practice at all this week. So if you're expecting to get Xavier McKinney back this week, it's not happening. He's not going to practice at all, and he will not play this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. In terms of the guys that would not be practicing today, if there was a practice, it's the 2 usual guys, Adoree Jackson with the sprained MCL and Shane Lemieux with the toe injury. Neither one of these guys would have practiced at all today, so they would have been out. In terms of the limited guys, Evan Neal has dealing with a shoulder injury. He would have been limited today as well with that injury. He's been dealing with a bunch of injuries so far this year. Kayvon Thibodeau has an elbow injury, so he would have been a limited participant at practice today. Nick Vanette is dealing with a shoulder injury, and Leonard Williams is still working his way back from that neck injury. So that would have been your black and blue injury report if there was, in fact, a practice today. But obviously, the big news today is the New York Giants have officially waived their former Mr. Irrelevant back in 2020, Tae Crowder, as he has been waived off the roster, and I would not be surprised if Landon Collins is officially signed to the active roster to take his spot. That is your Giants roster update for today. Have a great rest of yours Tuesday evening. Take it easy, and let's go New York Football Giants, as always. Together blue, everyone.